Shit, all day.
Nick Cannon, what happened with him?
Oh, well, pretty much. I think last night or the day before, he said some shit about, you know how Nick Cannon is like pro black and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He basically said some shit about how white people were the devil and stuff like that. You know, just to paraphrase what he said, and calling them, and I think he got labeled as anti-Semitic. So Viacom fired him. So that means no more Wilding Out. It's been canceled.
Right.
Yeah. And everyone's been like saying, "Oh, it's systematic racism and shit like that," which I agree. It takes Nick Cannon's firing to happen like that, but the cops that went after Breonna Taylor, they're still out doing their thing.
Right. Exactly.
That's why I said last night on Facebook, the government's a joke at this point.
I don't get it. Really don't get it.
Or the fact that, Sandra Bland's, murder's still not solved. The cops are still out there and shit like that, but y'all fire Nick. Okay. That's cute. That's cute. That's fun.
So what is it? He wants out of, was it CBS he wants out of or something?
Oh, he was just fired. He was
fired. Oh shit. I didn't know that. Wow, that's crazy. So there's no more Wilding Out.
They said it's been canceled indefinitely, so I guess not. And then you have the motherfucker saying, "Oh well, why not you go to BET? Y'all dumb fucks. Viacom owns BET, stupid fucks." Like, and besides, like, it won't well on BET. I don't think BET will do that show justice and shit.
That's crazy, yo. So no more Wilding Out. That's like after what? How many years they've been on? 12 years?
Like 2005, so 15 at least, 16, 15.
Wow. That's crazy. And that's really the only thing, that and Ridiculousness, the only thing I was watching on MTV, so.
Yeah, man. Shit, man. Like, 2020, just another day in 2020. That's my hashtag for this whole year, just another day in 2020.
That shit is crazy, man. I can't believe that. Cannot believe that. You know?
Right.
You know about the Snoop Dogg and DMX versus?
To be honest, I cannot wait for that. That's one of the verses I really cannot wait for.
Right.
Like, the Jadakiss and Fabulous one kind of disappointed me, but yeah. And especially, like, both have consistent discographies when it comes to hits and shit like that, but I got my money on Snoop, in my opinion.
Well, who you got winning though? Who you got? I mean, I'm picking DMX because I think he accomplished a lot in a short amount of time, where he don't have like a bunch of shitty projects like Snoop Dogg. You know what I'm saying? Like I could, like, if he's going off of albums alone, you can pick 20 hits off of DMX albums, and he has plenty of features. You know, Money, Cash, Hoes, Money, Power, Respect. You know, huh?
Let's not even forget the Rough Riders album.
Right. The Rough Rider stuff. 24 Hours to Live. He got many features. The problem with Snoop Dogg, I love Snoop. He has Doggy Style. That's a classic that could battle any classic album ever. It's the problem. It's the issues after Doggy Style. Like, to me, in my opinion, he made his best shit on No Limit. You know, The Game Is To Be Sold, Not Told, Top Dog, The Last Meal is a classic, and then it's hit or miss after that. Like Blue Carpet Treatment to me is still his best solid work after the No Limit stuff. But once you get to those albums like Documentary and Malice in Wonderland, he got shit on those albums. I mean, those albums were crap, but he might have like 1 or 2 hits off of it.
Yeah, but let's not forget the Rhythm and Gangsta Masterpiece album.
That was good. I like Rhythm and Gangsta. That was a good album, but it's a lot of people don't like it or it's slept on. But he have a lot of shit during that time, like, and he's been out longer than DMX. But the quality over the quantity is not gonna matter in this battle. You know what I'm saying? Because like if Snoop got to pick 20 hits, he got to pick 20 hits and not stray away from that and go into Snoopzilla and that terrible reggae album he did, because that shit was garbage.
Right.
You know, like Ego Trippin'. Yo, I bought Ego Trippin' the day that it came out from FYE. That album was garbage, and the only big hit off of it was Sexual Eruption.
Yeah, man. Ego Trippin'. I might
You know
have
what
to
I'm
talk
saying?
about that album one day.
I already know what rating I'm giving it, but that album was shit. But the only big hit was Sexual Eruption from that album. Documentary was mediocre. He don't really have no big hits off of it, like except for the song Wiz Khalifa, but that wasn't a
Yeah.
big hit like that. You know what I mean? So I
Give me
think
a
it's gonna
second.
be. Do your thing.
Yeah, give me a second.
What up, Sam?
What's up?
You going for DMX? I'm going for DMX. Definitely. I think DMX can take it. It's not even gonna be an upset.
Sorry about that. She might have to call me
Sorry.
back later on just to let you know.
It's all good.
Yeah.
But it's like,
yeah, like
it's hit or miss. His discography is hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's like one there's people that like certain albums, and then you know what I mean. So I think for DMX, it's he got 20 bangers from the first album all the way to grand finale.
I feel you on that.
You know what I mean? But you know, it's gonna be a good battle. Like Snoop against DMX, I could definitely. That's a battle I wanted to see, like dog against dog.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna say one more thing before we start this review, but this whole T.I., I didn't mention this during the whole other video we did.
Right.
This whole T.I. and 50 Cent
beef
on shit like that. Because T.I.'s talking about how his legacy is just as good as Jay-Z's, Kanye's, and Lil Wayne. I'm just like,
no.
T.I., I'll fuck with you, T.I., but no.
T.I. had a run, 6-album run, where you could call him at that time the king of this. I mean, for me, in my opinion, he was the king of the South for that run. Like I said, like I liked Luda, but T.I.'s album simply different from Luda. You know what I'm saying? But
true,
you're not on Jay-Z or Nas level to me. I don't think.
Hell
I think he's still a dope artist. He just needs he hasn't had a hit in a long time. But I'm not putting him on a level with Jay and Nas. You know what I'm saying? And this whole thing with New York, and come on, stop that. Because there was never no hate for Atlanta or the South like that. Like I said before, like people over here slept on a lot of Southern artists as well as the West Coast. But as far as I'm concerned, they got love from me. I always represented the West and the South. And it don't matter where you're from. It's not a location thing. If you dope, you dope. Eminem is from Detroit, and he's in my top 5 of all time. So it's not a location thing. It's just, you know, people slept on certain artists. There was artists here that people slept on. You know what I'm saying? That you know, Mike Geronimo, he got slept on a lot when he first came out. So did Roy Flush. It's not like everybody that was here like instantly like listen to them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Royal Flush, man. That nigga goes in.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a location thing. You got to like stop that bullshit with like this whole New York against Atlanta. It's not about that.
When New York still pretty much trying to sound like the South for years and shit. So.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's never been location. Like I think they made it like that. Like when we were dealing with that whole coastal feud with the West, and they made it like that. They made it like, oh well, New York don't represent. They don't listen to so and so from the West. But I mean, I listen to a lot of West Coast artists. I don't listen to everybody because I think there are people that are whack on the West that I don't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? But it was never a regional thing where, oh well, we don't fuck with the West or we don't fuck with the South. It's never like that. For me, it was never like that. I listen to artists from other countries. Drake is from another country. He's not from here. And he's one of the biggest rap stars right now. You know what I'm saying? You know? So it's not a location thing. It's just that, you know, this certain artists that we didn't fuck with. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Tion needs to understand. Like, yeah, you are a great artist, but you're not. I don't put him on that Jay-Z or Nas level. You know what I mean? So it's like, nah, man, don't even go there with that. What up, Eric? You got everybody got DMX over Snoop. I would pick Snoop if his discography was more tighter, but he have a lot of trash in his discography. You know, and he experimented too much. I like, it's good as an artist to experiment, but there's a point where if an artist experiment too much, if he's like in that shallow water where he's experimenting too much, you got to wheel him back in. Like, come back to what you're known for, Snoop. You know what I'm saying? Come back to what your fans know, you want to hear from you, like G-Funk. You know, that gangster shit. Like, he talked about doing a country album, and you know, you've done a funk EP with Damn Funk and shit. Like, come on, you did a reggae album that was shit, and you still got a Grammy nomination for it. You know what I mean? So right, they did the gospel out, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done too much experimentation with his music. Like, it's time for him to come back, reel it in, come back and do the shit that people know you for. You know what I'm saying? And DMX never did that. DMX never strayed away from his sound. He's always kept that first sound from It's Dark and Hell Aside to Grand Finale. He's never strayed away and tried to do some EDM bullshit or some R&B shit. You know what I mean? That wasn't him.
True.
You know what I mean? So I would have gave the edge to Snoop if his discography was tighter, but it ain't. DMX did a lot in a short span compared to Snoop was out longer, but Snoop got a lot of trash in his discography. You know what I'm saying? And other than the Doggy Style album is the one album we all could agree on is his classic album. What's his close to the classic or after or classic album after Doggy Style? To me, it's Last Meal. To me, it's Last Meal.
Yeah.
But when you get the consensus from other people, they have different answers. Some people love Dogfather. I don't care for Dogfather like that. Some people love Top Dog, or it's another. You know what I mean? So it's like he has a lot of trash.
That's just fire.
I love Top Dog. I like I said, I think the 3 No Limit albums are his best after the Death Row album. But after that, what's his best album after that? Blue Carpet Treatment? Is it R&G? You know what I mean? So
I would put R&G slightly up Blue Carpet if you ask me. I might get some flack for that, but I re-listened to Blue Carpet years ago.
Oh.
It had some good songs, but it was a bit too long for my taste. I think it was like 24 songs was on that project.
Yeah, it was long. It was long, but that was a solid album though. Like that's slept on, but
oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying? You know, he did way too much shit in between that time. You know what I'm saying? And some of it, unfortunately, I have. You know, but if I could go back in time, I wouldn't have picked up Ego Tripping and, you know, Documentary and all that shit. But, you know, DMX to me has the better. This first 3 albums alone is great. That, you know what I'm saying? The first we're not even counting, huh?
Don't forget to add Great Depression.
I was gonna say we're not even adding Great Depression. His first 3 alone, he dropped 2 in 1 year, 98. Both of them classics. Both of them debuted at #1 on Billboard. You know what I'm saying? His first 3 alone is classic. That's not even counting Great Depression and the shit he did with Rough Riders. You know what I'm saying? So to me, I think X got it. You know what I mean? Sexual Eruption, that was a big hit for him though. Like that when that dropped, when was that? Like 08? I forgot when that dropped.
Yeah.
That was a big hit. At least over here, like they played that shit every day over here. Like that was a big hit. I saw that video every day on 106 Park and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's the only hit from Ego Tripping. Ego Tripping was a shitty album. That's one of his worst albums ever. And I bought that shit the first day it dropped.
Yeah, the video was what really made me fuck with Sexual Eruption and shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't like that song. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was different. And at that time the music was shifting to that sound of, you know, EDM, and you know, you had people like a VC that was out, and Calvin Harris and David Guetta. That sound was out at that time. So that's what he was adapting to. But I didn't like that song. I didn't like the album. You know what I'm saying? I bought the album thinking that it's gonna be some fire on it, and it was shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he got it. I think it's gonna be harder for Snoop to go through his catalog than DMX. DMX, I got DMX greatest hits. He got 20 bangers on it, so that's easy for X, and that's not even counting the collabs he did. You know what I'm saying? But when you make a 20 track playlist for Snoop, what are you including on that list? I mean, most of this shit to me got to be from Doggy Style, because he have a lot of bangers. The whole album alone is banging. Gin and Juice, Ain't No Fun, The Shiznit, What's My Name. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, but you also got to understand too. You also got to understand too, like when it comes to like these versus battles, you have to have like majority of singles and mostly album songs that diehard fans would know. It can't just be just for basically on that one.
Exactly. It's like what kind of shit he's done so much. It's like, what kind of playlist is he gonna have? Like, is he gonna include shit off of that Snoop Zilla EP or shit from that reggae album? And you know what I mean?
Hell, even Pay the Cost to Be the Boss has some
I love that
songs.
Love that album.
That's Robin, my nigga.
Yeah,
come on.
Love that album. Like the features he did with Mystical and Master P, Silk the Shocker, all fire. And I'm not even a No Limit fan, but I fuck with Snoop because it's Snoop, and I feel like that's his best 3 albums after Doggy Style to me. That's his best shit after Doggy Style. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I don't know. I couldn't even, if I made a Snoop playlist, it would be totally different than probably what he's gonna have on next week. Cause I'm not gonna include all of that filler shit that he have.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I mean? Like, nah, bro. He got some stinkers in that catalog. The Kool-Aid, that album was trash. You know, I forgot about that album. I like the album cover, but the album itself was garbage. You know? Yeah. There's a couple like that Welcome to the Doghouse shit. I skipped over that stuff. Like, he got a lot of trash in his catalog. Mixtape shit too, because he did mixtapes as well.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? But nah, I got DMX all the way. I will say this though. Last year I saw both of them on the very same show that I saw 50 and T.I., and Snoop Dogg gave a great set. And for him coming all the way from the other side of the country to come to Brooklyn and to tear it down at the Barclays Center, props to him for that, because he killed it. He killed it. You know what I'm saying? DMX killed it too. It's like, and DMX have a huge female following. Like, Snoop is that neighbor next door that everybody fuck with on the block. But DMX, when DMX came out, all the women took out their camera phones, all the flashlights went up for him. It's like they were waiting for him, and he wasn't even the headliner. The headliner was 50 Cent. And everybody waited for X. And he killed it, and we see what he can do when he's sober. When he's on drugs, it's a different deep. But when he's sober, that's vintage DMX right there. And I definitely was lucky enough and to see both of them in concert, and that was a great show.
I agree. I'm ready whenever you are, bro.
Yeah. So so I've been postponing this for like a long time. I don't know why. I just wanted to do shit when I wanted to do it. But when I first started this channel, like back in 2016, 2017, I started doing Wu-Tang reviews, because Wu-Tang has always been my favorite group of all time. Their legacy, we all know the legacy of Wu-Tang. And I started doing like album reviews from Wu-Tang, like I did Tikal, I did Cuban Link, I did Liquid Swords, but I wasn't talking about those albums track by track. Like those album reviews only lasted like 14 minutes, if anything. But I scrapped that, and I always said, like, I want to come back to doing Wu-Tang reviews on Wu-Tang Wednesdays. So I wanted to bring it back, but not focus mainly on the clan itself, because we know about the clan. We know about Wu-Tang, Enter the Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang Forever. We know all the non-members. We know about them. I wanted to give more highlight on the Wu-Tang affiliated artists, like Killah, like Remedy, Shaheem, Sons of Man. Don Pacino has been dropping heat solo for a minute. Nobody's even talking about that. You know, Killer Army dropped a new album. Nobody even talking about that. So I definitely want to discuss the Wu-Tang affiliated artists more, and then at some point we will discuss, go back to the non-members. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to talk about Wu-Tang, the clan itself, because we already know about them. It's the clan is bigger than just Ray and Ghost. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I decided to do this series, like a new series on here, and do Wu-Tang Wednesdays like once a month. We'll pick like a different album or different artist to discuss that's part of the clan. And today I wanted to start it off with Killah Priest and his first album, you know, Heavy Mental from 1998, and you know, Killah Priest, he been doing this thing for a long time, and you know, Walter Reed is his name, from Brooklyn, Brownsville, and Bed-Stuy, and he's been part of Sons of Man and Four Horsemen. He started that group with you know, Corrupt and Rascas and Cannabis, and you know, Black Market Militia. You know what I mean? And you know, he got his first time I heard Killah Priest was on the Gravediggers album with Diary of a Madman, classic album. I ran to the record store and copped this album the minute I saw the video for Diary of a Madman. Definitely killed that joint, him and Shabazz, the Disciple. And he's also been on the Liquid Swords album, on the Bible joint. You know, and on ODB album for Snakes, he's been on here as well.
Classic.
You know what I'm saying? And that was my introduction to Killah Priest. I haven't listened to any of his other albums, only Heavy Mental, because Heavy Mental, when that dropped, that was like a big release for him. You know, I remember like seeing the commercial ads for the album on like Rap City and all that, and seeing the posters everywhere in the city. So I'm not even gonna pretend like I know his discography. I've only heard Heavy Mental, and I remember when he started the Four Horsemen. Because I believe the Cannabis second album has a track with the Four Horsemen on it. I forgot the name of the track, but I remember when they were starting that group or whatever, and they were supposed to drop an album and it never came out, and they kept promising the fans that it's just dropping and whatever. But Sons of Man, I listened to Sons of Man first album, but I never listened to anything after the first album though. But you know, he made his start, you know, on the Gravediggers, Diary of a Madman, and he was, like I said, he was featured on ODB's first album and Liquid Swords, just his debut as a Wu-Tang, and you know, just he was on the first album. He was talking about like his religious references, and you know, Al Gore moving into his history and African American society. He was talking about, and the album was produced by the Wu Element producers, the True Master, Fourth Disciple. You know, Mathematics is part of that crew. I'm missing somebody. Who else is part of it? I know it's True Master, Mathematics, Fourth Disciple. Who's the other one?
You said shit.
I know there's another producer. I'm messing the producer's name right now.
Was it Shabazz or no?
Bronze Nazareth. He was the other one. Bronze Nazareth. He does a lot of the product. He did a lot of production for Killer Army, and he does stuff for Don Pacino for his solo albums as well. And you know, and I listened to this album a long time ago, and I thought it was dope, and I never hear nobody like discuss it or whatever. And you know, he left the Wu. He left Wu at some point because he had a group. He had more than one group. He also had a group with Shabazz the Disciple called the Disciples of Armageddon, and he left Wu-Tang like of being affiliated with them at some point to, you know, do his own thing or whatever. And you know, that was like during the 2000s. He left the Wu stable, and you know, he formed the Horsemen and all that, and I don't know the backstory with him leaving. I know there's some beef with Shabazz. Shabazz actually was on a recent podcast, and he talked about why he's no longer affiliated with the Wu-Tang, and the RZA did him dirty and shit like that. But I don't know why Killah Priest. I don't know the backstory of why Killah Priest stopped fucking with them like that. You know anything about that, Reg, or no?
Nah, this is my first time hearing about that shit. Really.
Yeah. Like, well, he's not he's not affiliated with them. Well, he has a podcast now. Like, if you check out his YouTube channel on YouTube, he does live streams every night now, and it's like late at night, like 1, 2 in the morning. He'll be on there, and I know he has a new album coming out called what's the name of that shit? Nebula, Rocket to Nebula. That's coming out later this year. He was talking about that, but I don't know the backstory of why he's not affiliated with Wu anymore. But I know why Shabazz is not affiliated with them, but I'm not sure on the backstory with Killah Priest. But like he's been dropping shit for a long time. Like he dropped like four projects in 2009 alone, like 2 albums and 2 mixtapes, and he's been dropping shit since then. So there's a lot of stuff on Killah Priest I haven't heard, but it was something that had something to do with the RZA, and his business ties or whatever. They had some beef with the RZA and the label, and he left. You know what I'm saying? Him and Shabazz left or whatever, and that's basically all I know about that situation. They were Sons of Man was signed to Wu-Tang Records, and they dropped 3 12-inch singles or whatever. And there was something happened between Shabazz, him, and the RZA, where they broke down. The communication broke down, and they just end up splitting from. They were under the RZA Entertainment Management Agency, and something happened with that after '96, where they just parted ways or whatever. So he's no longer affiliated with Wu, but he's still dropping his own solo stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to focus mainly on this album, because I think the album is underrated and it's slept on, and it's a solid album. You know what I'm saying? And what was your first time listening to the Killah Priest, Reg?
I want to say either the year 2013 or 2014.
Right.
It was the first time I heard this joint, because it was 2013. Yeah, because I was still in high school and I heard this shit. Because I was getting into like a lot of hip hop around middle school and high school, like past and present, and of course Wu-Tang was my shit.
Right.
So of course I had GZA's Liquid Swords album, which I feel Wu solo album to this day.
Right.
And of course y'all should know the song Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth.
Right.
And that was what really grabbed my attention with Killah Priest and stuff like that. And it was like the only song without GZA, if I'm not mistaken, and shit like that. So everyone kept talking about Heavy Mental. So I checked Heavy Mental out.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, like when it comes to Wu affiliate albums, it should be on the top of everybody's list. I mean, this whole album is just so fucking ill and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just way ahead of its time. Like, fuck that piece of shit J Electronica Testimony album. I'm sorry. It's just everyone is looking at that as like the way how they should do right. But this album right here is bar none like more potent than that album and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just more down to earth and shit like that. And you can really tell Killah Priest is definitely, as well as he's preaching, he was lyrical at the same time too. Right. And not a lot of conscious rappers can have those two qualities about themselves and shit, because yeah, man, like as much as I love like Public Enemy, and Chuck D's like one of my favorite MCs of all time, I would never say, oh, he's like a lyrical MC and shit, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, so, and that's what I always bought my head about Killer Priest and shit, you know?
And he's also even though he's not affiliated with Wu-Tang anymore, he still worked with Wu-Tang artists like Master Killah. He was on No Set Date. And he dropped the Elizabeth album in when was that? Like 2009. He had RZA do some beats on there. And he was planning a album, a collab album with Ghostface called Natural Born Killers. That was way back in 2010, but it hasn't dropped yet. I don't know if they're still planning on doing a collab album or whatever. But he still maintained to work with the Wu-Tang members or whatever. You know. But yeah, he got two projects dropped. He got Rocket to Nebula, and he got a joint called Castle Hop. That's coming. There's no date for that yet though, but that's coming up. So look out for those two projects from him. And yeah, so the album is 20 tracks. We got the first joint, the intro is like a clip from, you hear like these Chinese these two Chinese men talking, and it's a clip from a movie called The Egyptian from 1954.
Yeah.
And the quote that the guy is saying on the intro is from a person named Sanu. I never heard of this guy in my life, Sanu. But supposedly it's from this guy named Sanu, and he's like quoting this stuff on he's like telling the guy, are you trying to tell me this, that you'll fight against me? And then the other guy says, oh, you will win that. You will win that, for if you fail to silence me, you know what I will do. And I didn't understand that whole clip, but that was like a Wu-Tang-ish type of intro, because it reminded me of like the Wu-Tang albums. You know what I'm saying? Like it had that the intro and the outros. That's how they usually either started the album or ended the album.
Right.
What did you think about the intro?
You know, it's like a conventional Wu-Tang intro. That's what I got from it, like you said.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing I've always loved about Wu-Tang, how they'll pick some of these like obscure movies and it will always fit right with the fucking song and shit like that. Because this day and age, motherfuckers be using movie samples and shit. Sometimes I just be like, why do y'all pick that sample?
And it don't work.
Yeah. Like, how many times that Friday part been sampled and shit like that?
Right.
Like, I'm gonna get you pie today, like.
Right.
Shit, but that's what I have to say about it. I don't really too much of the intro.
Now the second song, the second track, One Step, featuring Takeda and Hellraiser, that was a single, and that was produced by True Master. Great, dope True Master beat. I like the sample. The sample, I forgot the original artist, but I remember that sample because Dilated Peoples used it for Worst Comes to Worst.
Yeah.
I believe that was on his second album, the Expansion Team joint. So King with a capital K, what up? I love that joint. Takeda sounded dope on the chorus. And Killer Priest says, Daily Marvel, they caught us playing with the gold marbles. We wrote novels. Now we live like in the bottles. Just some dope lines he had. Really melodic type of track, but still with those hard True Master drums. Definitely a solid track.
Yeah. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, Eric. That Ghost album would have been fire. I don't know if he's still planning on doing it. The Man-Child album, we might do that. We might discuss that Man-Child album.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah. So One Step, very, very dope song and shit like that.
Yeah.
I want to say that's like one of his most signature one of his most signature songs and shit, in my opinion. One thing I got from that track was just, just setting the whole tone of the album.
Right.
I love the line when he says, "Our life is connected to the second sons of Isaac, which had a tight grip on the heels of his brother revealed to his mother.
Right.
Served the younger, words heard in thunder and shit like that. Just all the biblical references throughout the whole fucking track and shit. So,
right.
Pretty dope track. And to answer your question, the sample is William Bell. I want to say is "I Forgot to Be Your Lover."
Okay.
Yeah, I've heard that sampled a lot of times and shit.
Yeah, it was simple.
Yeah, so I know Ludacris used that for "Growing Pains" too. So
right. That was on Chicken and Beer, I believe.
Word of Mouth.
Word of Mouth. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Luda used it. Dolly Peoples used it. Definitely a solid track. You get the track 3, "Blessed Are Those," produced by Kim the Ill Figure, and you got some ad-libbing in the background, some female ad-libbing. Dope drums on it, banging bass line. I like the part where Killah says, "God help us if we die in sin. I hear the trials and the cries of men. That's when the riot begins." Definitely some deep poetic lines on that. The drums were knocking. That was definitely a solid track.
Yeah, man, I love that fucking track. Definitely one of my favorite tracks off the album and shit like that. Fucking those drums is what really made the song. It's just so dirty.
Definitely.
Yet the way they compressed and mixed that shit was very unique and shit.
Right.
Shout out to Kim who made that fucking beat. So yeah, another dope track.
You get the track 4, "From Then Till Now," another track produced by Kim the Ill Figure. Dope horns on this. It has like a sinister, dark melody. Really dark track. Dope beat on here. We got it's like a soulful melody with like some whistling being played in the background as well. And the lines that Killah says, we was the wisest and the richest. Now we turn to snitches. Women turn to bitches in the time of harvest. We was the smartest. Worship wisdom like the goddess. So really deep lines. Killah kicking that knowledge and shit, that wisdom. And this was another solid track on this album.
Yep. Another solid track indeed, like you said. Just talking about just the fucking shit, living in the streets and shit. It's kind of like a little uplifting song in a weird way and stuff like that.
Right.
That's the way I got from it. But
right.
I definitely love this song. Definitely another recommended song from this album.
Then we get to "Cross My Heart," track 5, featuring Inspector Deck and GZA, produced by True Master. Hard, dope True Master beat. I like Deck. Deck always kill it for me. Like whether it was Triumph or Assassination Day, like Deck always killed it for me. Like I think he's one of the best lyricists in the clan. And his verse on here was fire to me. Like he said, concrete techniques and concrete techniques bomb beats and cause casualties. My faculty hold it down like gravity, rapidly threaten like weapons to adolescents, ghetto residents. What he said, ghetto residents, fuck your past to your present, and quick to pass to your presence. And I love that. I think it was a vintage Inspector Deck verse. And GZA did his thing on here as well. He was solid. Killah verse was on here was solid. Just a all around dope Wu collab.
Yeah, man, this was a very underrated Wu Posse cut. This was also on the Cut Up soundtrack and shit like that.
Oh, that's the joint with who was in that? Bokeem Woodbine?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Bokeem Woodbine and Cinda Williams. Cinda Williams was the light-skinned chick in Mo Better Blues that Denzel was seeing, and he had a girlfriend. His girlfriend was I forgot her name in that. It was Spike Lee's sister, Joy.
Yeah,
I remember Cinda.
Yeah, man. Like
that movie was shit though, but
You know what?
That movie was horrible, but the soundtrack. I don't have the soundtrack. I never bought the soundtrack either though. I didn't even know that song was from that soundtrack.
Yeah, I'm just looking at Rap Genius. I took some notes and shit. So
right.
But yeah, this is definitely that vintage roof shit right here. True Master on the beat, definitely dope beat. Yeah, I have to agree with you. Inspector Deck definitely did his thing on this song right here.
Yeah.
Tim fucking saying fake ones, their chorus with smiles and snake tongue. I'm deep into this. I sometimes grasp for air. Deadly warfare, hot blocks, cops, cold stairs. Like, woo! Kill that shit, man. Love that fucking shit.
Yeah, definitely. Classic joint. Track 6, we got the Fake MCs. That was another single off of this album. Really dope beat, nice hi-hats on there. The bass line was dope. Piano loop. I like the chorus though. The chorus was fire. He said, there's too many phony MCs out there this year. They best to beware. I've burnt thousands already, so get ready. Lyrics are deadly. Just a fire. Just kicking that the verbal flame into the fake MCs out there. And he was saying there's too many rappers in the East who want to be gangsters. Too many gangsters in the West want to be bunch of actors. I ought to slap you. Who's your master? So another dope joint. This is one of my favorites as well on this album. Like the beat is just dope, and it like his flow just go with the beat. I love that.
Yes, sir, definitely. Fake MCs, like the title says, just talking about these whack ass MCs, shit like that, phony MCs. Like I said, solid song, dope chorus and shit. It's kind of interesting. There's this line where he says, "There's too many rappers in the East want to be gangsters. Too many gangsters in the West want to be rappers and shit like that." It's kind of interesting line, especially for hip hop at that time.
Yeah,
and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I feel like this song was just you talking about phony MC that he came across and shit. The second verse is just fucking dope ass metaphors and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, kill a priest now or late. I terminate. I burn and break and intimidate. I come cold as the winter break and shit. I just love this fucking metaphors and comparing shit. And yeah, very dope track.
And that was produced by Fourth Disciple as well. Dope Fourth Disciple beat. The next track 7, It's Over. Another joint produced by Fourth Disciple. Is at first you hear like a bunch of kids like running and some guys running. I don't know what the hell they're running from, but it sounds like they're running like from animals or something, or like some people shooting at them. There's like a whistle playing, but it's like a dark track. It's like some dope drums. And Killer Priest, he has like the way he's rhyming, it's like a sped up type of flow on this. And I thought it was cool. I thought I wrote something. I didn't write nothing for this, but I thought it was cool. I thought it was a dope track though.
Yeah, man, It's Over. It's definitely a very dope cut on his two, like Fourth Disciple, man. Just definitely did his thing on this one. And shit. So yeah, man, pretty solid track.
Yeah. Crusades. That was like a little skit. That was produced by Fourth Disciple as well, and he's throwing out like different messages out there. Astro intelligence and mental fulfillment. And what it was he said? He said some other shit. Something of the Testament. I forgot. Exodus of the Testament, something like that. He said, but he's just throwing out different messages out there and shit, and it was cool. Shouting out Takeda, and so it's only like 58 seconds, so I mean I didn't really see the need for it on there, but
yeah, I didn't really
care
too much about this track and shit. Really.
I was like, what is this? What am I? You know what I mean? Astro intelligence, something like some deep shit, Track 9, we get the Tai Chi. produced by Fourth Disciple, featuring Hellraiser and 62nd Assassin and Father Lord, rest in peace to him. Dope track by Fourth Disciple. I like the break. It has like a break beat drums. I love that bass line, the hi hats, the pianos were knocking. It's a really dark track. I like Hellraiser's verse when he starts it off and he says, "We building projects and pyramids, evil kids. I destroy your ass like London Bridge. Smoke tree and weed, take out the leaves off the twig." So yeah, some lines. Hellraiser to me has always been like underrated in Sons of Man, and he's also been doing his solo thing for a while and whatever. And I listened to one of his albums last year. He did like a project with Knox, and that was a solid project, even though that went under the radar. But Hellraiser definitely is a solid artist solo. Yeah, he has a documentary out as well. I haven't seen it yet, but there's a documentary out for Hellraiser. Like I believe he got into like a car accident or something.
I think you're right.
And it's the documentary is about like how he started and with Sons of Man, and then when the car accident happened. But I gotta check it out. I think it's on Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime or whatever. But I haven't watched it yet though. But there's a documentary for him for his story. And Killer Priest, he killed the track as well, and 62nd Assassin. Definitely a solid Sons of Man collab on this.
Yeah, like Tai Chi is just definitely a very cool track. Yeah, Hellraiser definitely had the best verse on this fucking song and shit. And love that line when he says, "It ain't peace without war. How would stand without a floor under over complicated, sober, younger, older. It elevated higher than an empire state. Elevated I roll with creators and cremators and shit." Like very dope line.
Definitely.
Shit. They all did their thing on this one,
Oh yeah.
Just Sons of Man, man. Just fucking rule history right there.
Definitely. I want to discuss them at some point too, Sons of Man, because they've been slept on forever.
I agree.
Track 10, we get to Heavy Mental, the title track, produced by Killah Priest, and it's more of like the way it was more like the way he was rhyming was like more poetry. It was like more of a poetic type of flow, and he's saying between the eye socket is where I build my skyrocket. You don't need any passport. All you need is thought. And yeah, like the way he was just rhyming, it was like more poetic than actual bars. I like that. It was a cool track.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite track off this album.
Right.
To be real with you, just fucking Killah Priest, just going one verse and stuff like that. That beat alone is so. That beat alone is so fucking ill and shit like that. Very ahead of this time.
Right.
And it was produced by Killah Priest too. So
yes, yeah, Killah Priest.
Yeah, he did do some beats on this album too. So
yes,
that's very interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, some quotables on this one, like now I'm on Allah's road to journey into the realms of the cosmos. Only God knows what goes. Blow like the UFO to give up my work clothes, only to glow with the holy word and explode through the mysterious black holes and shit. Like, come on, man.
Yep, fire. Fire. We get the track 11, produced by True Master. It's called "If You Don't Know," featuring ODB. Rest in peace to him. Yeah. Dope track. I like the horn sample on them, and the bass line, the drums were hitting. ODB had a dope verse. I like Killah Priest's verse a little bit more, and he says, your ambition puts you in that fucked up condition, leave you with your own conviction. Shit was nonfiction. Now you in a state of nonfiction." Some dope lines by Killah Priest, and it was good to hear ODB on this album, and because Killah Priest was on his first album, and he returned the favor for Killah Priest on this first album, and I thought it was a dope collab.
Yeah, man, definitely a dope collab too. But I wasn't expecting ODB
right
on this shit, to be real with you, but like he definitely came and did his thing. You know, always giving out them dope ass choruses.
Right.
R.I.P.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, man, this is a very dope track. Right, I wish they would have done some more stuff together and shit, but
Right.
you never know.
Definitely. Track 12, we get to Adams to Adam, featuring Shanghai the Messenger, produced by Fourth Disciple, and Prodigal Son. I believe Prodigal Son is the one singing on the in the background.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I've heard people say it wasn't Prodigal Son, it was Junior Reed, the reggae artist, but I'm like, that don't sound like Junior Reed to me though. You know.
Yeah, that's like
But Prodigal Son, another Sons of Man member, and Kid, the first part of this song, Killer Priest, he's like discussing him as like, you know, as a Adam, you know, like the birth of, you know, of a person, and he says transformed from the celestial shit, shot through a sexual terrestrial testicle vessel, small as a decibel, where I nestled. 9 months later, special delivery, the Killer P, RIEST. I thought that was like some vivid, dope lines from him, and him talking about like becoming a fetus in the womb, and coming out. And I thought I was like a really deep lines from Killer Priest on here. I definitely enjoyed this track.
yeah, man, definitely. Adams to Aaron, again, another one of my favorite tracks off this album.
Yes.
The way I see this track is pretty much just talking about just how man is born and stuff like that. They go through life, and then just talking about the afterlife and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's one of True Master's best beats in my opinion. Too. No wait, not True Master. Fourth Disciple's best beat in my opinion too and shit. Just so
And
fucking raw and shit. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Yeah, it's definitely a very clever, unique song.
Yeah, that was Adams to Adam, produced by Fourth Disciple. We get to track 13, High Explosives, produced by Arabian Night. And this was a dope track too, like very dark, you know, had a dope beat, dope bass line. I love the chorus. With the chorus, he's like, I'm a space cadet with a tape and a cassette player. By fasting and prayer, I'm passing the ozone layer. I meditate, then I'm there. High explosive lyrics are high explosive. Love that chorus. And like he killed it. He killed this track lyrically. Like the bars on. He said, "My wisdom takes off with such great force. So go through spacewalk. I break north, leaving legs forced. Shake the planet off course. Shifting ships, mountains and cliffs, planet shifts and mind drift. This is it. Some dope lines on here. Like I think it's one of his best songs on the album. Like lyrically, I think he was on point. He was sharp on here. Love this track. Definitely one of my favorites on this album.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you again. And High Explosives lyrically, that's on top of my list as well too. Just him being so fucking dope on the mic, charismatic as he always is and shit. Yeah, at the same time, still keeping up with his own fucking stilo and
Right.
stuff, which I fuck with heavily. Um, yeah, very, 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 very dope track. Love it.
Yes. That was Arabian Night. He's another underrated producer. Definitely killed that track. Track 14, we get the Wisdom, produced by Fourth Disciple. Now for me, Wisdom, I couldn't like I never heard the full track for this. Like have you ever heard the full track? I know the full track is only 2 minutes long, but I never heard the full track for this.
Mm. So the album version is the short version. Is that what you're saying?
The album version is 2 minutes long, and it's 2 minutes and 3 seconds, but I haven't heard the like the full version for whatever reason not on it.
Oh, I haven't heard the full version either.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. I guess we might have to skip over that track 14. But that was produced by Four Disciple. Track 15. We talked about this before. Basic instructions before leaving Earth. Bible. It's in the abbreviation. It spells out the Bible. This was produced by Four Disciple. I believe this was on the Liquid Swords album.
Yeah.
But the Jizza is not featured on this one. This is just Killah Priest by itself. This was produced by Four Disciple. Definitely a soulful track. Nice beat, nice bass line. Killah says, what he said? He said, I searched for the truth since my youth and went to church since birth, but I wasn't worth the loot. You know, and talking about, you know, the plagues of the ghetto, you know, poverty and stuff like that, you know, and I thought it was a dope song and it had a message. And I think Killah Priest in all his songs he drops messages and gems that it might go over some people's head. But then there's songs like this where like you can catch what he's saying. And I definitely feel like it was a dope song. I like the version with him and Jizza as well, but you know, why is there two different versions? Why is there one on the Jizza album and then one on his album?
He actually, believe it or not, there was actually an interview. He talked about that. Let me pull it up right quick. Because he was talking about the making of his album and shit. So. Right.
Yeah, Deck is underrated, Sam.
Oh, okay. So basically, the track was lost and stuff like that, and Riz didn't know where it was. And Fourth Disciple, he redid the track. He redid the whole beat, and we redid it and everything like that.
Oh, so he recorded this after Liquid Swords.
Yeah.
Oh.
I guess he wanted to make like a part 2 or something, but then
a part 2. He should have named the Bible too, you know. You know? Yeah. What? So you thought it was a great song?
Yeah, definitely a very dope song. I loved it when I heard it on with the first version on Liquid Swords, and I love it now and shit like that too. Definitely feel like next to One Step is probably one of the most songs people remember. Right. Him for this album by and shit. So very dope track.
Then we get to track 16, Mystic City, one of my favorites again on this album, produced by Wakim the Ill Figure. Very, very dope beat. You know, nice. I like that piano loop on there. Very soulful singing. Again, Killah Priest killed this track. You know, the lines he says: "We murder over pennies and crumbs, plenty of guns, crammed in the city slums. The man pity none for this next millennium. Kids starving when they breathe. You can see their kidneys and lungs. They left blind, skinny, and dumb. Sight far from a pretty one. Praying to God when will he come?" So definitely some dope lines, and again, like just kicking that knowledge and talking about the ghetto and all that. And I thought it was another solid track. I love that beat, you know, by Wakim, and definitely one of my favorites on here.
Yeah, Mystic City is definitely another ill ass track right here and stuff like that. To be real with you, man, I love the reference he did to the 12 Monkeys movie and shit like that. I thought that was pretty dope. Yeah, very dope track.
Track 17, we get The Information, produced by Four Disciples. Another banging track. Nice beat, nice bass line. It's like some saxophones on this track. You know, and you know, Killah Priest is talking about, like, you know, how the government is intruding on our privacy. They got satellites in space watching our every move. They got cameras looking at us, and you know, I thought it was this is something that, you know, that was talked about in the Will Smith movie for Enemy of the State with him and Gene Hackman. You know, the government was after Will's character, was wrongfully accused of shit, and they knew where he was at because of the they could just go up and use one of them satellites and track where you at. And he was on the run from the government, like during the whole movie, and he didn't know who to trust. And you know, Gene Hackman, he worked for like the same company that put those satellites in space, and he helped them out. They had to go rogue and undercover, and that was a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, that
And
was
yeah, I think that came out the same year, right? 98, if I'm not mistaken.
yep.
Yeah, and I've seen Animated State hundreds of times. Regina King played Will Smith's wife in that movie. Just Jack Black. That was like early Jack Black. He was in that movie as well, and just a dope movie. Huh?
Lisa Bonet was in the movie.
Yeah, Lisa Bonet. That's right. Lisa Bonet played. Oh God, we're getting into the Will and Jada talk right now. She played like the side piece for Will Smith. Oh man, she played the side piece for Will Smith in that movie. I forgot about Lisa Bonet, and she ended up getting killed by the government because they felt like she knew where his whereabouts was, and she wasn't snitching on him or whatever. That was a great movie though. This song is basically about that, like the government, you know, spying on you know the public, and I thought it was dope. And Killa saying, my birth was foretold. Look deep within my wardrobe, embrace the crossroads. We once were gold. And just a dope ass song, and I like the message that he conveyed on this song about the government and them spying on the public and all that.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying with that track. Like, information is definitely very, very, very dope. But like, way ahead of its time too, if you ask me.
Definitely.
Just like talking about, the government always out to get you and shit like that. Which I'm talking more about that within this track too. But yeah, very good track.
And we get to track 18, Science Projects, featuring Hellraiser from Sons of Man, produced by Fourth Disciple. Dope joint. I like the bass line. I like the drums on that. It was a very dark track. I didn't write nobody's lines or anything, but definitely a dope track on here.
Yeah, Science Project again is another very heavy track. Where like Killer PC was talking about this track, and pretty much the inspiration for this track was them reading like a conspiracy book and whatnot, and just applying it here and stuff. So yeah, I definitely felt like this was a dope track. Killer Priest definitely did his thing with this one. Hellraiser on a third verse as well too. Yeah, very classic.
Track 19, we get to Almost There, featuring. We're almost at the end of this album. Almost There with a Fourth Disciple, and another dark track. I like the drums on that. Very dope production by Fourth Disciple. Killer Priest says, when I relax my thoughts in my brain, hovers New York. My third eye glides with the view like a hawk. And he again, like it's a more like a poetic type of flow for him. And I thought it was great. I thought it was a great track. You know, I like the different flows that he had on his album. I thought it was a dope track.
Yeah, I thought it was a dope track as well too, and shit like that. Another one of his most lyrical tracks off this album. Definitely like a favorite of mine and shit. I love the line where he says, "Black Sea, Sea of Caspania, Persian Gulf, all the way to the Mediterranean. City of Atlantis, skin is getting tight as a mantis. Freestyle is organic. Mechanic seagull swings over the eagles and shit. Just love the way he flowed in that line.
Definitely. And we get to the last track, The Professional, produced by John the Baptist. Now, The Professional that track is only on the CD version. It's not on the vinyl. It's not on the cassette. It's only on the CD copy of the album. And I think you could like the John the Baptist, the track, like it has like a vintage Wu sound to it. The really dope beat. Killer. Once again, he killed it. He said, I go from gorgeous into a fucking Tyrannosaurus. Scenery is now prehistoric. I'm kicking deadly rhymes with no chorus. Lyrics hover like flying saucers. Niggas turn into alcoholics, staring up into orbit. fire track.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Again, another track, nice way to end off the album
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah, man. Like, if you have that CD version, you cherish this track. That's all I gotta say.
Oh yeah, definitely. And this album is solid. Like the production from Fourth Disciple and the Arabian Night, John the Baptist, Killer Priest itself, Kim the Ill Figure. Like the production is solid. It has that vintage root sound. The lyrics from Killer Priest very deep and thought out, and it has he's dropping gems all over this album. The songs like One Step, Fake MCs, Tai Chi, The Professional, Mystic City. Like I love those joints. Like those joints were some of the best on here. I give this out. To me, this is probably I can't even say it's his best in the discography because I haven't heard the other albums, but definitely a great start for any beginning listener to Killer Priest's work. I think it's his best album so far. Definitely an underrated Wu-Tang affiliated artist album. And I would give it a 4.5. I definitely think it's a great album. Like I definitely enjoyed it, and this is a timeless album. I like, there's so many things you can take from this album and apply it to your life, and I thought it was great.
Yeah, definitely a very dope album right here. Very ahead of its time for 1998. The beats definitely are like a lot more stripped down than like other albums and stuff like that, and it definitely um fits with like Killer Priest's stilo and his steez or whatnot. Yeah, definitely I would say it's my favorite because Elizabeth is a close second to me and shit like that.
So you're more familiar with his discography then.
I mean, I only heard this album, Elizabeth, and the Views from Messiah albums. Okay. The second album, which I wasn't really too crazy about.
I gotta check that one. And The Offering, have you heard that one? No.
That's the one that came out in like 03, 04.
Yeah.
I heard a few joints from that one. I'm not too familiar with that one either.
This is the album, man. Killer Priest, Heavy Mental, classic album. Love it. Definitely, I definitely need to play this more often. But definitely a great album. I suggest anybody that loves Wu-Tang Clan and the affiliated artists definitely pick this up. Put this in your Wu-Tang collection. But yeah, I will be doing these like once a month. We will be discussing all things Wu-Tang on Wu-Tang Wednesdays on here, and I have like others lined up. Like Killer Priest is the first one, but I got other Wu-Tang affiliated artists that I want to discuss at some point. I never see nobody discuss these artists. It's always about Wu-Tang Clan. I want to get away from the clan and actually talk about the other members. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Yeah, it is out of print. Check Discogs, check on eBay. Definitely a solid album. Me, Reg, and Ashley. What up, Wacker? Wacker, you late, yo? You missed the album review. Salute to him, yo. Salute to Wacker. But yeah, I was saying like tomorrow. You said tomorrow we drop in the sitcom episode.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow at 6 p.m. on Reg's channel. We have this is probably the best thing we've ever done together since we've been doing these episodes together. Me, Reg, and Ashley did the top 50 sitcoms of all time of any decade, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, even now. And it was all together, it was 6 hours. We had to break it up into 2 episodes, 3 hours long. So when you watch it, get your popcorn or your sandwich and your cold beverage and sit back and watch us discuss our favorite sitcoms of all time. I had fun doing that, and it was easy for me because, like I said, like when me and Reg talked about doing the episode, like I had already made my list that same day, so I didn't really have to change anything. You know what I'm saying? I just changed the order of which they were going to be in. But definitely, that's going to be like the best shit that we ever did. So I can't wait to see that. You know, yeah, 6 hours. We have to break it into 2 parts. That is part 1 is 3 hours, part 2 is 3 hours. So it's a long episode. It's like longer than any movie you're gonna see on Netflix.
Facts.
You know what I mean? So I have fun doing it. It was great. And that's something that you don't see. I never see nobody on YouTube talk about like their favorite sitcoms of all time and shit like that. We just bring in different shit to, you know, different content on here. You know what I mean? We can't always do album reviews. Like I love albums and I love discussing albums, but I want to do other shit as well. So, you know,
yeah,
that was fun. Like oh man, some of the picks that was on our list, I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. You know what I mean? It's crazy. You know.
It's awesome.
And we still had an honorable mention. We could have did a part 3 and just dropped the honorable mention episode, but we just did everything in one. And you could tell like there's like parts in the video where I looked like I was ready to pass out. I was like tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I didn't want to even like discuss each show. I just wanted to like just go through the list and then we could just pick like from 1 or 2 from that list and to talk about. But we discussed every show on the list, so that's like each of us got 50 and we discussed all shows. So it was great.
I got to be real. By the top 5, I was pretty much just going through the top 5 and shit.
Right.
Like that. So
right. Like what? Once we got to I was tired. Like once we got to the top 10, I got like an extra burst of energy because when we're doing like we in the 40s and the 30s and shit. I'm like, I was dead ass tired. Like I almost fell asleep. But you know, like once we got to the top 10, that's when like, okay, we at the halfway mark. I gotta discuss like my 10 favorite sitcoms of all time. But these like and all of these shows, like these are shows that I grew up watching. The only recent show that I had on there was I had My Wife and Kids, and I didn't have that 70s show on the list, but it was on my honorable mention because I watched that a lot. But it wasn't too many from this era that I watched, but like everything from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s is on that list. So that was a great episode that we did.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
You know what I mean? Yeah, a lot of people can't do that. Like that's why we do what we do, is we just do different shit.
Exactly. And be ourselves
and shit. And I know me and Reg talked about this like maybe 2 years ago. We talked about doing the top 100 R&B albums of all time. That's gonna be even longer. That's gonna be even longer. Like I might have to get like a whole 2 days of sleep before we do that episode. You know what I'm saying? Because I know we're gonna be like 100 for each of us. So it's gonna be like top 100 for me, top 100 for Ashley and Reg, and we're gonna probably more than likely describe every album on that list. So that's gonna be even longer. That might be 7-8 hours.
I'll talk to you about that this week.
Okay.
I was thinking about that the other day.
We might need to do that like a 3-4 day span or whatever. You know?
Yeah, but listen, I have to go. I gotta go call moms and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So,
all right, cool. We'll be back. Next week we're doing Rick Ross discography. So all the Rick Ross lovers, tune into that next week. Definitely gonna do that for the end of the month.
I cannot wait for that, bro.
Yes. Peace. Salute Eric, King, Walker, Sam. Salute to everybody. Subscribe, like, share the channel. Peace.
For real. Peace. Have a good day, everybody.